What's up, FOA Squad? I'm Anthony, and welcome to our channel, Life with Anthony. I hope you guys are doing well out there. Happy Monday to you guys. Today, I wanted to sit down and talk about something that I rarely hear van lifers talk about, unless they are including it in like a monthly budget type video, and they say, okay, this is how much this costs a month, and that is health insurance. Before I get into taking you guys through my path to getting health insurance as a self-employed YouTube content creator, I just want to say that I am not a health insurance professional or expert of any kind. This is what I was told. This is what I learned along my process. If you are a healthcare professional and if I say something that is incorrect, feel free to correct me. But this has definitely been a learning experience for me. Okay, so all my life, I had depended on my company, and I've worked for someone all my life, and they took care of the health insurance. They chose the health care provider that they wanted to be affiliated with, and basically all I did was had to go in there and choose every year the plan that I want, whether it was the gold plan, the silver plan, etc. And I usually was choosing the silver plan most of my life. Thank goodness, knock on wood, I have not had to use health insurance to the great extent that some people have had to use it throughout the years. And I usually would just go in for annual checkups and preventive maintenance, preventive stuff like that. So I really had no reason to learn some of the ins and outs and terminology of health insurance until now, when I had to get my own health insurance for myself. So I started out just like most people probably would start out, by going online and searching for different health insurance companies. And when I first started looking online for it, I was getting a lot of Medicare plans as opposed to health insurance plans. And I was getting a little frustrated about that for a little bit. And then I started playing around again, toying around, searching and everything online. And I filled out that brief little information card, and Lord and behold, as I mentioned in another video, I started getting all of these calls from different health insurance places and texts and everything. I was getting emails, texts, and phone calls, and it went on for about 3 weeks before it finally stopped. Well, I continued to play around and do searches online, but made sure that I didn't fill out nothing this time around. And I came across something that Pennsylvania has their own healthcare and dental marketplace. Now, I got to be honest, I've never even heard of a marketplace in the health insurance industry. I've never even heard of that because I've never had to actually know that something like that existed. So I was directed to the Pennsylvania health insurance marketplace, which is called Pennie, P-E-N-N-I-E. And I was connected to a woman representative, and she was very nice, and she started walking me through the application process. And we got to the part of the application process where I had to prove my identity, so in other words, I had to take a picture of my photo ID and upload it to a site that she sent me via text. Well, for some reason, my photo would not upload to that particular link that she sent me, so that put a halt to the application process. And I was like, okay, so I let a few days go by, probably even a week, and I called the number back, and I was connected to a guy named Vince, and Vince was so helpful. We were on the phone for over an hour, and he was answering all my questions. I didn't have a lot of questions because I still didn't know quite at the time what questions to ask and everything. And I'm one of those people that I generally will think of one or two more questions after we have hung up and the conversation is over with. But I do have his personal work number and along with his extension, so I can call him at any given time. Well, anyway, Vince was explaining to me the difference, because I've always in my life had a PPO. And a PPO is Preferred Provider Organization, and an HMO is Health Maintenance Organization. Now, one of the biggest difference from what I understand and what I've learned between a PPO and an HMO, is that the PPO, you have the flexibility to go in and out of network with your doctors without a referral. And the HMO, they have a group of doctors that you have to go to within that network, and you have to have referrals. That is the biggest difference that I understand between a PPO and an HMO. Also, from what I understand and read, PPO plans tend to be a little higher, have a little higher monthly premium, simply because you have that flexibility to go in and out of network without a referral. So once again, I've always chose a PPO plan so that I can have that flexibility to go in and out of network without a referral. Even though I've never had to utilize that advantage, or if you say, it just felt like something that I would prefer to have had. So with that being said, he told me some of the difference between that. And he also told me something that I actually did not know, and a lot of you probably do not know this neither, is that the most important number that I should pay attention to when searching for health insurance is the maximum out-of-pocket number. He said a lot of people place a lot of focus on what the monthly premium is going to be, because that's what they're going to have to pay every month. And a lot of people tend to, if that's an affordable number to them, then they feel like that they have gotten good health insurance. And so he explained to me that the maximum out-of-pocket number is the most important number, because that's the number that if you have to use your health insurance for an extended period of time, that's the number that you're going to have to pay out of pocket before the health insurance pay, if I'm saying this correctly. So he gave me an example of, okay, if my maximum out-of-pocket number was $7,000 and I was to be hospitalized, and I was in a hospital for, let's say, a week, and the bill was, let's just say, $14,000. He said I would have to pay the $7,000, and then the insurance would pay the remaining $7,000. But he said if I was to go back into the hospital, let's say I went in for that week and things didn't quite go as well, and I have to go back for another 2 weeks or whatever, he was explaining to me that I would not have to pay. And the bill, let's say the second time around, the bill was, I don't know, $10,000. He said I would not be responsible for that $10,000. The insurance will pay that $10,000. And even if I go back into the hospital several more times, I would not have to be responsible for any of the bill from that point on, because I've already paid my maximum out-of-pocket amount of money, which I felt comfortable knowing that. And I'm not sure if I even knew that when I was working all these years, because I'm not going to say that was never told to us during one of those annual meetings where the insurance agent comes in and share the differences and from this year to that last year. I can't say that because, again, I'm never really was really that into it, because I never had to really use it. So with that being said, he made it pretty clear to me that that's the number that I should focus on and make sure that that is a comfortable number for me. Now, my health insurance cost is based on my earnings, and I'm pretty sure that's what most people, if not everybody's health insurance who is getting self-employed or single individual health insurance is based on. And I told him that I was a YouTube content creator and that sometimes my monthly earnings will fluctuate, and how would that work. And basically he told me that if my YouTube earnings was to fluctuate and have a pattern where, let's say, I was making this much and now there's a pattern of maybe 3-4 months that I'm now making this amount, that to just give him a call and they would reevaluate my monthly earnings and they would adjust my cost of health insurance. So I felt pretty good knowing that, because YouTube does have the tendency of fluctuating. And, you know, sometimes it can be a small amount from month to month, and sometimes it can be a significant amount from month to month. So it is one of those types of jobs that's not defined and you just don't know. So with that being said, he moved on and he started quoting some prices to me. At first, I damn near fell on the floor when he was starting to quote these prices and different plans and everything. And then I had to really start thinking, okay, Anthony, it is based on your earnings, and this is what you told him your earnings were per month. Now, the earnings that he told me per month was presumably after taxes, which of course I don't know what my taxes are because I have not paid taxes yet. I am taking and saving 30% of each of my monthly earnings for my taxes. I saw that online on YouTube that that's the number that a lot of YouTubers, or the ones at least that I saw online, were saving out of their monthly earnings. So that's the number that I chose as well. And so I told him that as well. And plus, I had to also try to take away my monthly expenses, like, you know, my just my monthly daily expenses. So I came up with the number and I told him, and that's the number he went by, and he came up with these insurance prices, and I was like, holy crap, insurance is high as heck. So after it was all said and done and we spoke over an hour and everything, you know, he transferred me over to someone else, and they kind of just did a recap of what Vince and I went through and did some finalizations of it. And, you know, and then I had to pay the first month, which is January 2023. And my next payment is not going to be due until February of next year. But all in all, I felt like I have a good plan. I felt like I have a plan that if I had to be hospitalized for some reason, that, you know, the plan would do well by me, would do good by me. When I told my mother how much my monthly payment was, she was like, oh my goodness. And I told her, I said, you have to keep in mind they based it on your earnings and how much money you make. But I will not tell you guys how much my insurance is per month, but I will give you a ballpark. It's more than $500, but less than $1,000. And that's all I'll say about that. So I learned a lot during the process. I'm now just waiting on my health cards. I also have dental and I also have vision. I wanted to make sure that all bases was covered because, you know, sometimes these eyes be going cuckoo. And, you know, I'm still midway through. I still have some more dental work that I have to get done because these are my temporary teeth. And I still have to pay for my permanent teeth. And hopefully this new insurance will take care of some of that for me, and I don't have to pay for it completely out of pocket. But I think talking about health insurance on here as a van lifer is important because it is something that if you are thinking about becoming a van lifer and using YouTube as your primary source of income, that you are going to have to, you know, take care of yourself. And if you were like me, your job has been paying the majority of your health insurance throughout your life, and you're going to get a reality check. You're going to get a reality check on how much health insurance is these days. But I also feel so much better just knowing, because as we get older, as I get older, things may start to happen and to my body, and not for the good, not for the greater good. And I would feel so much better mentally to know that I have a decent health insurance that will take care of at least the majority of whatever the cost of whatever it is that I have to tend to. So it's important. It's important. It's important. It's important. It's important to have. And again, I rarely hear van lifers talk about it. I think it should be spoken about. There are van lifers out there giving all kinds of advice about how to do this and how to do that, but they're kind of ignoring some of the important parts of living this lifestyle. It's not all about, trying to make yourself comfortable in your vehicle. It's not all about, trying to find the safest parking spot to park. There are some more important aspects of this lifestyle that if you are not working and you are self-employed as a YouTube content person primarily, you have to get your own health insurance, or unless you're just not going to have any health insurance. So that's it. I think I covered everything that I wanted to share with you guys. Again, it was a weight lifted off my shoulder that I finally got a better health insurance, because before I had health insurance during this little period of time that I quit my job, and up until now, it's open enrollment time. So if you don't have health insurance as a individual YouTube content, self-employed content creator, this is the time that you should be on it and getting yourself some insurance, because you don't want to be spending all of your YouTube earnings on health insurance if something was to happen to you out on the road or whatever. You get in Lord behold, you get in an accident or something. You just never know what can happen, and it's best to be prepared than unprepared. So with that being said, I think I covered everything that I want to mention to you guys. As always, thank you guys for taking a few minutes out of your day to watch my videos. I appreciate you guys, you know that, and I'll see you guys the next time.